A carpenter bee hovers above some flowering Acanthus ilicifolius L trees, searching for nectar among the white flowers. The plant is a common mangrove species in Shenzhen. The word mangrove does not refer to a single species, but to a genus consisting of about 80 species around the world. When different species of mangrove grow together, they form a forest by the sea that protects the coast from wind and waves. As Shenzhen's city tree and as an important wetland plant species, local mangrove populations in the city are mainly found in the Futian Mangrove National Nature Reserve, which is the smallest national nature reserve in China. Matteo Convertino is an associate professor at the Institute of Environment and Ecology of Tsinghua Shenzhen International Graduate School and the principal investigator of the school's Future Ecosystem Lab.
The fish or the shrimps come inside from the ocean and then
I just saw them from satellite images, and looking into them from such a close distance. You have the short mangrove, the tall mangrove, the medium mangrove. So it's really impressive to walk along.
大家知道环境保护最重要的意义在于让更多的公众知道这个事儿，所以我们环深圳湾呢建立了3个自然教育中心，每年呢有几万人次的公众在这里接受教育。
Mangroves are found along the coastlines of tropical and subtropical regions. Their bark is rich in tannin, which is easily oxidized by air to a reddish color, hence their Chinese name Hongshu, meaning red trees. Tannin, which is a natural antiseptic, is unpalatable to intertidal benthos and thus prevents mangrove trees from being consumed. To survive wind and waves, mangrove trees have strong, intertwined roots that allow them to anchor themselves to the shore. They also have several finger-like lateral roots that grow upward out of the mud and water to serve as oxygen intake sites for the submerged primary root system. Interestingly, they excrete excess salt from their bodies, with some species having special secretors to help them expel salt from the seawater they consume.
You see, these are the famous freshwater gates
freshwater
that regulate the flow of water into the park.
One of the most remarkable characteristics of mangrove species is that they reproduce by viviparity, which means that the seeds germinate into propagules before they are shed from the parent tree and then fall directly onto the mudflats. It can take only a few hours for a propagule to take root in the mud. Even if it does not colonize near its parent, the propagule can remain viable for several months and can travel thousands of kilometers on currents until it finds a new coast to establish itself.
The thing with mangroves is though to let the mangroves do their own thing, not try to plant mangroves or introduce new mangrove species. They will do, because the seeds are distributed in the sea, they will arrive in the right place. They're zoned. Different mangrove species grow at different positions down the tidal platform.
Shenzhen is home to 24 local mangrove species such as Excoecaria agallocha Linn, Bruguiera gymnorrhiza, L. Savigny, Kandelia candel, Linn, Druce, and Kandelia obovata, and is an important stopover for migratory birds on the East Asian-Australasian flyway. The reserve, together with Hong Kong's Maipan Nature Reserve across Shenzhen Bay, forms the Deep Bay Wetlands ecosystem. Mangroves help protect coastlines, purify seawater, maintain biodiversity, reserve blue carbon from the coastal ecosystem, and beautify the coastal landscape, hence the name Coastal Guardians.
So So it's like a green lung of the city that is very important for maintaining the regulation of the local climate, as well as enhancing local and global biodiversity, because there are many species that come here to stop over during their journey from the northern latitude to the southern latitude. So it's not just important for the city, but also for the worldwide biodiversity in a sense.
Statistics show that mangroves reduce economic losses of over $65 billion and protect a population of around 150 million from flooding every year. Regardless of ebb and flow, mangroves thrive along the coastline, dedicated to protecting our planet.
Currently, we are looking into how much carbon can be sequestered down into the soil and also above ground into the mangrove trees. One of the China policy is about carbon neutrality up to 2050, and that is about reducing the carbon content into the atmosphere. Part of it can be controlled by reducing the emission, another part can be reduced by increasing the sequestration, such as by the mangrove community.
However, in recent decades, the global mangrove cover has been rapidly decreasing due to human activities and climate change. According to a report published by the Global Mangrove Alliance, GMA, mangroves around the world are declining by up to 2% each year. Yet in China, the total mangrove cover has increased by more than 23% in the last 20 years.
Different people must come together to trying to understand ecosystem problems and trying to solve them. These people can be ecologists, biologists, landscape planners, architects and engineers that by putting together their own individual expertise, they're trying to understand which species and habitat are symptomatic with certain problems. So one way to preserve nature is also to try to avoid things that can harm nature. Whenever we develop a new part of the city, whenever we build some new buildings, I think it's necessary that we also expand nature beyond the current condition.
China proposed the establishment of an international mangrove center in Shenzhen at the opening ceremony of the 14th meeting of the Conference of the Parties to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, COP14, on November 5, 2022.
我是非常幸运的哈，是参加了这个 COP14，在这个日内瓦分会场的所有的活动。在12号的时候呢，我们在会议就通过了这项提案。这个提案就是要在深圳建立国际红人中心啊，所以我们能够亲自参与，也特别自豪吧。
This reflects the country's determination to participate in global governance and promote global wetland conservation, and is of great significance for global mangrove reforestation, scientific research, and sustainable development.
可能还是源于深圳的一些优势吧，比如说我们是一个经济高度发达的一个城市，同时呢，我们也是生态修复和环境保护，特别是红树林的保护，做出示范的一个城市。那同时呢，我们在制度上也有一些先行示范的一些优势嘛。特别深圳，我们是号称志愿者之城嘛，5个深圳人中就有1个志愿者，这些才能支撑深圳有能力承接这样的工作。
他们呢将积极的宣传普及红树林生态系统相关知识，引导身边的同学爱红树林，保护红树林。
And so this one is a relevant question because it can put Shenzhen at the spotlight for future urban development. Shenzhen in this context is particularly unique because the mangrove are really at the center of the city, which is a very, very special condition. And so other cities may benefit from what we do here in Shenzhen to protect the whole ecosystem on Earth.
In the near future, the Shenzhen Mangrove Wetland Museum, a new first-class national museum in China, will be built by Shenzhen Bay. The museum will become a landmark for mangrove conservation, exhibition, collection, education, scientific research and tourism, and will also serve as a new calling card for Shenzhen.